Hello guys, it's Chummaster here doing the BakuTech review. This time we have Gran Panzer, the first ever Subterra BakuTech, at least the original Subterra BakuTech, the 5th overall BakuTech, so another very, very early one. Yeah, looks like this. Pretty interesting color scheme, kind of a tan-ish color, almost a little bit gold, at least in this lighting. Normally it's more tan, and then you have some dark green. Pretty nice Subterra color scheme, I think, and then a lot of metal. We're going to get into that, but yeah. Definitely a pretty cool looking Bakugan. Opening it up, opens up like this. Has two manual parts. These kind of gun-like things you could just pull out and they fold down. And there you go. That's Gran Panzer all opened up. Looks really cool. A lot of like guns and stuff going on, which is very nice. G power, it's hard to see in there, but might be able to somewhat get a look at that possibly. If not, it's 520. But yeah, okay. I just want to make sure I was right on that. Yeah, it's 520. So, anyway. Yeah, so this thing was actually marketed as being like really powerful and stuff, and obviously it's an early BakuTech, so you can't expect a ton from it nowadays. But even for back then, this thing was not all that great. It should be good just based on how it looks. I mean, you have two metal pieces on here, like cross pieces. You have these 4 metal pieces on the bottom. This thing should be good, but it just isn't. Now, for like attack power and stuff, it doesn't really have anything like that springs out on it. That's crazy, but it does have a lot of metal, so you can still hit things around, kind of. But I don't think it's all that effective when you compare to some other Bakugan. Like, I'd still rather just use Flare Dragon, honestly. This thing, well, yes, you can argue, okay, there's a little bit of attack potential here. That's not bad. Nothing else is really worth it. I guess the kind of way you could roll this thing is interesting, because it does have a lot of metal towards the bottom, which is kind of cool. So you can do some fun stuff with that, but the main problem is just defensively this thing is awful, and it wasn't supposed to be awful, but it just is. Yeah, this thing doesn't occupy like any of the card. It's like, just put it in a corner and see how little it occupies. You could always argue, okay, double stands and stuff, but like, there's just better stuff out there. Also, this thing just doesn't stand the card well. It just doesn't have good defense. I guess like on the sides, these parts can kind of stop it, but I feel like it still just gets pushed around easy, and if you hit it like in the front or back, it just kind of just falls a little bit too easily, in my opinion. I don't think it's all that difficult to KO. There just isn't a lot of merit to Gran Panzer, in my opinion. I just don't think it's all that good. So, yeah, I mean, it's a Subterra Bakugan. There aren't many Subterra Bakugan, but at the same time, I feel like there's just better out there. Like, you have, you know, even just 32mm Bakugan. I think the evolution of this thing, Ken Panzer's better. You also have, like, Acro Gizzard or Gavli Anacon. I think that'd be a pretty good 32mm Subterra team right there. At least in my opinion. But this thing, it's just generally not going to be worth it on like anything. Yeah, so I guess for scores and stuff, I went a little bit out of order, I feel like, but just on a personal score, I'm gonna give this thing a 7 out of 10. I do like it. Just based on the design and color scheme, I think it's pretty cool looking. I like the kind of Panzer idea. It's nice, but competitively, I'll give it like a 3 out of 10, I guess. It's kind of bad. There isn't really a whole lot of merit to this thing. Again, the only reason it even gets a 3 is because I guess it's like the metal distribution's kind of interesting and you can kind of attack, but like outside of that, I don't really think there's a whole lot here. It just exists. That's like all there is to it. It just exists and isn't great. That's kind of the takeaway here. So yeah, that is pretty much everything about Gran Panzer. There isn't a lot to say about it. Again, it's an earlier BakuTech. There generally isn't a lot to say about these, other than they've aged and aren't really as good as they once were. And a lot of them were never the best to begin with anyway, so yeah. But that's all for this BakuTech review. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.